What's going on, guys? Bonafide Hustler here. Gonna do a little Q&A before I get a stellar mountain biking ride in. But anyway, so I just got off the phone with Steve Franken on some things about the Green Room Meetup, which should be really good stuff. But anyways, I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I think most people that are watching this right now probably know exactly who I am. And yeah, decided to go live on Facebook. So if I look up there, I'm on Facebook. And if I look down here or right there, I'm on YouTube. So if you got a question or anything like that, definitely will try my hardest to actually answer the question. Now, some of the remarks I've been getting lately, what's up, Yves? Good to see you, is that I speak way too fast and I'm like really too energetic about the stuff I'm talking about. So I'm gonna try to tone it down today. And I'm gonna try to actually speak normal, right? What's up, Jennifer M? Good to see everyone. And like I said, if you are watching on Facebook, you can ask a question there. And otherwise, right here on YouTube. Let me just make sure that this computer, everything is good with it. 1 second. So yeah, I'm getting my mounts all correct as well. All right, I think I'm good. Hold on. I just messed it up. Ah! All right, here we go. There. Perfect. I think this is right. Yeah, sometimes this technology gets kind of crazy. Okay, 17 viewers in the house. So yeah, anyway, what am I doing today? What did I do today? You know, woke up, worked out, worked on some private label stuff. What else have I done? I've done also eBay listings. I've redone random stuff on a local basis for Craigslist. I've also started to kind of brainstorm my garage sale route tomorrow, which is really interesting, but I don't get to finalize that till later. Got into the green room, interacted with green room people. Got on a conference call with Franken, semi-conference call, did that as well. Talked about the green room meetup, and also put a post in the green room about my private label journey. So that's pretty fun. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much where I am now. And then, yeah, about to get a little mountain biking ride in. And then after that, I'll work on a cheddar list for tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I'll try to get some good sleep. Most of the times when you guys see my ride-alongs on YouTube, I am completely underrested, which sucks because it's almost like Christmas morning. When I deal with garage sales, it's almost like Christmas morning. I get really excited, and it's hard for me to fall asleep. So anyway, I'm gonna try to fall asleep at a decent time today. Tomorrow we have a green roomer that's going to be in the hot seat, Alan. So that should be a lot of fun. And anyway, so I want to answer some questions. Enough about me. Let's see who we have in the chat here. Ask questions if you want. Use Tess here, Jennifer M, Jessica, Garage Flips. Hey, what's up? What's up, Robin Campbell, Hoovy, Darren Knuckleman, Steven, Vintage Maid, Mike Raleigh, Adam, Hillbilly Pearl. So yeah, okay. So if you got a question, just anything would be good to talk about at this point. We have a remark from Belinda Chambers, says, hey, I saw your vid with Nicole State a while ago. It was really good. So thank you so much. Kelly Teague says, no, I'm not speaking too fast. They're just too slow to comprehend. You know, I've got 3 so far, like 3 comments like speak too fast. That's kind of a lot in the past like week and a half. Like I've never got that comment before, but for some reason in the past week and a half, I get 3 now. So 3 different people. So, you know, maybe it is time for me to slow down. I don't know. What's up, Joshua Davidson? And what's up to Dwayne Hale, also in the house? Man, my setup is like, I'm not exactly super enjoying this. So hold on, I'm gonna try to redo this this computer here. Put it a little bit more to the side. All right, maybe that'll be better. I don't know. Okay, because I can't see my phone one. Okay. Yeah, so I do have good energy. You know, where does that energy come from? Man, I'm always doing this stupid thing with my camera. The energy comes from a lot of different things. Like it comes from good nutrition, obviously, and it comes from staying active like a lot, like probably more than the average person. But yeah, I think anybody out there can get this type of energy. I don't think it's, you know, it's definitely not Pablo Escobar type energy, if you know what I'm talking about. It's real energy, and it comes from nutrition, good sleep, probably decent testosterone levels, right? Things like that, right? I'm healthy, right? My blood work looks good, so that's what it is. Adam517 says, you speak like you're from the Northeast, not Texas. I'm used to that, though, so people tell me to speak more slowly all the time. David Hotley says, slam that like button. Yeah, that's right. Belinda Chambers says, wheatgrass, am I vegan? I'm not vegan. I eat, meat and all that kind of stuff. But that being said, I do actually take wheatgrass powder every morning. It's in my smoothie. Hoovie has a question right here. To test items like Nerf guns or consoles, do I have spare parts just for testing? Maybe an ammo belt for a Nerf blaster or power cords for an NES? Power cords for an NES, yes, I do have that. The spare parts for Nerf guns, all I have are just those foam bullets. That's all I have for Nerf guns. That being, I also probably have a couple clips and maybe even a drum somewhere in one of the padded poly envelopes over there. So, it doesn't happen all the time that I come across Nerf guns that need to be tested and then put to eBay, okay? I made a video the other day about a specific Nerf gun that the last time I sold it was for $109 or $119 or something like that. Then my brother sold it shortly thereafter for $100, and it was a specific gun. It's an EDF 25 Vulcan, and it's kind of a common gun, but to find it complete is a whole different story. And complete is how you want to put it onto eBay. The other gun I talked about on that broadcast was a Long Strike CS6 sniper gun, and that gun is really hard to find just altogether. I have found pieces of the gun. I've never found the gun intact. It's pretty hard to find a gun intact. So anyway, so yeah, I don't have anything to test those things. When it comes to bicycles and stuff, I have every part possible and every part that fix a bicycle. I just don't want to fix Nerf guns, and majority of Nerf guns don't find their way to eBay. They find themselves to a lot, which ends up going on Craigslist with two keywords: steampunk and cosplay. Those are the main keywords you put in with Nerf, and people will buy them. Okay. Question, here we go. And hit the like button as well, please. And for those guys on Facebook as well, hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. I see 8 people on Facebook watching right now. Adam A517 says, do I allow returns? I allow returns on about a quarter of my items, not all of them. A quarter of my items I do. Darren Eckelman says, question, do I ever hustle GameStop for flips? There was a time back in the day that I used to for FBA. But I don't do it right now. There's like, I said this on the last Bonafide Q A, which there are a million ways to make money out there. There's just not a million minutes in a day to figure it all out, or not to figure it all out, just to do it all. So, I could probably hire a person and tell them, go to these big box stores and find me this type of stuff, but I'm just not into that right now. I'm not into maximizing my FBA store right now. The current project I'm working on is actually private label as of right now. That gets me motivated. My thoughts are consumed with it. And I still run an eBay store with about 125 items in it right now. That's just one of those things. And I love going garage selling on the weekends as well to put stuff on Craigslist, my antique booth, eBay, and then FBA. So that's what I'm into. I've morphed a little bit from where I used to be, but it's just the natural progression of things. I always want to do something bigger and better, and I don't know, I've always been a creator type person. I want to create something big, create something that, I've lived my life pursuing, and clearly active lifestyle and exercise and fitness has been probably the thing that has lasted longer than hustling in my life, that I actually care a lot about. So that's the reason why I'm going that direction. Why pretend, why just follow your dreams and follow what you're good at? So, let's see, just hit the like button from Ben Gilbert. Thank you so much. Legit Looks for Life. Do I see a future in YouTube? I'm the biggest YouTuber in San Antonio. Are you really? Let me look at your channel. No, anyway, I'm not gonna look at that. But do I see a future in YouTube? Absolutely. A future for YouTube itself or a future for myself? I don't know how the question really is, so I'll answer both of them. Do I see that YouTube is gonna progress as almost like an Amazon of real-time streaming and a place where people can put their videos? Yeah, YouTube kills. The only thing second to YouTube is I think Vimeo, and Vimeo is not even close to YouTube. So Amazon's trying to kind of make a YouTube. I just don't think anything's gonna hold contention to YouTube as in right now, and I don't see it in any time in the foreseeable future. I think YouTube really knows their product, they know how to optimize it, and they know how to reward the people that are putting content on their actual site. So I like that. Do I see myself on YouTube in the future? Well, I see myself on YouTube, yes, for half of the driving force behind the private label product that I am going to be probably issuing out in the next month or so, is when the actual hard goods start coming to my house. And yeah, it's going to be driven primarily by my other YouTube channel, right? I think we all know what that is. And that's the primary way to drive it. And then the secondary way is going to be like Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. But I think YouTube, as long as YouTube is doing what they're doing and they're doing it right, I think that's probably the place where it's going to happen the most. Is most people probably know about the brand from there. So yeah, I see myself on YouTube. I like YouTube. I enjoy it. I love the functionality that YouTube provides us. I really do. So unless you're a content creator, you might not understand what I'm talking about. But it is a quite amazing platform. It's just awesome. It really is. I mean, think about it. I was just going to get food with my wife last night, right? And we're sitting there in the truck. Or actually, no, E-Money was driving me and my wife and his girlfriend. We were going to get snow cones somewhere. And I was doing some green room stuff for the meetup on my phone. And I looked over to my wife and I'm like, isn't it like unbelievable that I've like planned events? Like if you asked me 5 years ago, like where did I see myself? Where did I see this YouTube channel going? I would just be like, yeah, I might sell a couple books, like nothing crazy, but like it's led to selling books, my first book on Amazon. It's led to the greenroomuniversity.com. It's led to now 2016 being the 4th meetup that we've ever had. And I've planned these meetups too, which is crazy. Like I've become in essence, somewhat proficient at event planning, right? That's crazy. So, and I took it all back. I was like, isn't that funny? And I looked at her and I was like, that came from that single time that you held the camera and filmed me when I said, film me, I have something I want to say and we're going to upload it to YouTube. It came all from that one time. And then I just continued with it, right? I really felt as if I had a good message. And so I just gave it forward and I kept going. Right, most people would just stop. Like I kept going. Like people like Franken kept going, and College Picker, and a lot of the other YouTubers that are great pickers out there that have substantial followings on their channel, just kept going. Right, when most people would have quit, they just kept going at it because they felt they had a good message, and the interaction that they had within their audience made them, want to do more videos. So, anyway, yeah, I think YouTube's great. So. Garage Flips hit it on the head. YouTube seems to be getting better and better for creators. That is right. Okay. Legit Looks for Life says, how do I make time for working out if I just want to hustle all the time? Well, see, the way I look at that is like, I don't get the thoughts running through my head. I don't get the execution that I want. I don't get the energy in my life without working out. Like working out, if I didn't have that, I think a lot of things would proceed a lot slower, right? I wouldn't be as motivated to do pretty much anything. So I think working out is the single most thing, having a fit lifestyle, single most thing that has led me to being confident, putting good content, just being comfortable, right? I feel as if it's given me a lot of I don't know how to say it, but it started in college. It actually started in high school. It's confidence boosting. And then when you get really good at something, you just exploit it and you try to do more and more of it. And I just got better and better and better. And the rest is kind of like where it is now. But I think it's important, right? I think hustling comes second. I would say, good health and then family and then the hustle. That's like probably the way I would look at it, because you can't enjoy a good family if you're not fit, right? So fitness has to come first. And then family is more important than money. So, fitness, family, then money. Like that's pretty much it for me. All right. Let me see who else. We got questions coming from Facebook. I want to answer one from Facebook. So go ahead and ask me on Facebook real quick, and I'll definitely see. We got 7 people watching. Perfect time to ask a question. I'm trying to get past the plateau in my fitness, and I just bought some fat burners. Did I waste my money? Jennifer M. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear this. Yeah, a lot of times the fat burners are just not good. Like fat burners are labeled as a shortcut. Fat burners are also one of those things that could be incredibly, how do I say it, detrimental to your health, right? So it's a shortcut, right? You should never, a good habit is what most people need. And the reason why a good habit is hard to find is because most people don't want to crank out what is arguably 58 days of a, you have to do 58 things in succession to get a good habit. So think about it in the sense of 58 good workouts, 58 strong, solid meals where you didn't cheat your meals, 58 days of perfect sleep. Like that's what I'm talking about. in order to build a really good habit, you have to have about 58 days of everything right. So a lot of people, that's the reason why the supplement market's so big, fat burner market's pretty big. It's because people don't want to mess with this 58 days at all. Problem is, none of those other things are going to help you. Until you get through those 58 days, none of that other stuff is going to help you for a long term, right? For a short term, it might, but there's always a price to pay for things that are short term. Almost usually a price to pay, whether it be steroids, fat burners, all that kind of stuff. Messes with your human physiology, messes with everything. Not good for you, not good. So I think definitely, go back the other direction, more natural way, build a good habit. And then when you're done with building the good habit, try to break it and see what happens. If it's a really strong habit, and it's a good habit, you won't be able to break it, even if you try, all right? Belinda Chambers, do I sell primarily on eBay? I sell on eBay, I sell on FBA, I sell on Craigslist, and I sell on consignment store in town, and I sell in my antique booth as well. But all are relatively small. I also, run the green room with Raken and Eric, right? I get money also from my books that are selling. I have two guides that are selling, a third one on the way. And then I get paid from YouTube as well, like no surprise. So that's coming through. But eBay is one of my avenues, right? I wouldn't consider it a large one at all, but it's one of my avenues. So yes. And once this workout channel takes off on YouTube, I'm pretty sure that's going to pay pretty well as well. So anyway, yeah, so Stephen, Laura, yeah, it's just bad. It's real bad. Everyone, basically, fat burners are, yeah, some of them are diuretics, and a lot of them have really terrible concoctions of certain things that just, give you a little bit too much caffeine where you don't need it in a short period of time, right? Because when you do fat burner pills, you get it all at once. Whereas if you sip coffee, you get it, like you get a nice energy burst over like 3 hours, 4 hours, right? If you sip, right? But a fat burner pill, you don't get that. Like you just swallow it, boom, you're like instantly like, you're energetic, but you're going to have a crazy crash after that as well. So with everything great comes something really terrible in return. So be careful with that. Garage flips. Have I ever gotten into a dicey situation on a Craigslist deal? Have you had a lot of people try that to change the price that you already negotiated via text phone before the meet? How do I react to that? Okay, so I ever got into a dicey situation on a Craigslist deal? Not usually, and I think it might be sometimes due to like the way I look. Like I don't think a lot of people want to mess with me. Like, I'm not saying that in a cocky way or whatever, but when you start getting kind of big and this and that, like a lot of people don't mess with you. Like they just don't. So, have I had a lot of people try to change the price? Yes, that does happen. That's Craigslist. That's the nature of Craigslist, especially living in a college town like with UT, like right down the road. There are a lot of students that come, when I was crazy at selling bikes, like all the time, I would sell sometimes like 3 or 4 in a day. It would be a lot of students. And those students, they'd come like, hey, I know you said 300, we take 280. And I know what it feels like to be a student. So yeah, I would do 280, or if they're like, hey, the rip on the seat's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Can we do 280? Then yeah, I'm okay. Because I'm seeing pretty big money turning in my head. But that was also at the time when bikes were like one of my lead forms of income. Now it's completely different. I do bikes, yes, but they're just not as frequent as they ever used to be. So yeah, is it a dicey deal? It's as dicey as you make it. I think you have to understand that Craigslist is one of those places where negotiation is definitely happening. Like there's no there's price firm, and that's great. But even with price firm, someone's like, hey, will you still take this? And it's up to you whether you want that money or not. I don't think it's really labeled as something dicey or kind of weird. I think it's just the nature of Craigslist. So I would just, stay cool with it and just notice that, just be aware that Craigslist has that, right? That's just the nature of Craigslist. Linda is saying, cook your own food, no prepackaged goods, and you'll be amazing how good you feel. What's up, Blake? We got Blake Gracia here in the house. So that's a really good point. I want to say from Linda, cook your own food. I cook mostly my own food. Hardly any prepackaged. I wouldn't say hardly, like I have some prepackaged stuff, but for the most part, I try to cook at least 75, maybe 80% of what I eat. That's good. Or I go to Whole Foods, which that food's been prepared usually that same day with actual whole ingredients. There are no preservatives or anything like that in there. Great question from Ryan Hooks. Have I ever been caught out selling stolen goods? About 6 years ago, there was an officer that came to my house after I made a Craigslist deal with someone. I made a Craigslist deal on a phone with somebody, and they're like, hey, can I meet at your house at this time? And I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I think it was like at 4 o'clock on like a Wednesday. So 4 o'clock on a Wednesday, I got to knock at the door, expecting to open the door and see the person like wanting to buy the Trek EX Fuel 8. It was the bike that was for sale. It was a bike I bought at a pawn shop for, I want to say $1,000. And I was trying to sell it for $1,400, if I'm not mistaken. So I open the door and I'm like, holy crap, it's a cop, and the cop's like, hey, he has a little notepad in his hand. He goes, are you the owner of a Trek Fuel EX8 21-inch frame? I was like, yes. He's like, I need to step inside your premises and look at the serial number of that bike. And I was like, okay, fine. And that point I realized, holy crap, I've been set up, right? Someone probably got his bike stolen. They see this bike on Craigslist, looks almost identical. And so they set me up. So I bring him to right here in the garage, like right there. The EX8 was sitting right there. There was no gym at that time. There were no mirrors. It was just a red wall. And the cop turns it over. He's like, can you turn the bike over? I turn the bike over. He looks at the serial on the bike. He looks at the serial on his notepad. He goes, all right, have a good day, sir. And he just leaves. And that's it. And I was like, well, can you tell me a little bit more about anything? He's like, not really. I can't. He was like, I was just sent here from someone from Craigslist to, cross-check a serial number. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, obviously I wasn't selling stolen goods at that time, but it could have been stolen. But I had a pawn shop receipt, so it wouldn't have been on me. It would have been on the pawn shop at that point. So, okay. What else we got here? Good questions. Great questions, guys. Darren Eckelman. That one's a little too personal. I cannot answer that one. But how do I keep? Okay, here's a good one. Pete the Hobbit. How do I keep track of garage sale purchases and how much I paid for them? I just got into garage sales and I was wondering. It's a perfect question. I want to answer that right now. So the answer to that is my tax preparer, who is probably by now a CPA. I know last year when I saw her, she was trained to be a CPA. I think at this point I can safely assume, I'm pretty sure she's a CPA by now. She used to work for H&R Block. She was really good. She had done my taxes probably the past decade. And so now she still does my taxes and gives me a really good deal because I toss her a lot of my friends in town, this and that. A couple green roomers actually go to her now. And essentially, that was my question to her probably 2.5 years ago. What do I do about this garage sale stuff, right? And she's like, look, you have to establish a system. It's very important. A system is what the IRS wants to see. If they see that you have a system for actually claiming what you bought, that alone helps you a lot when it comes to an audit, all right? So a system, I was like, what do you mean by a system? Are we talking like a Google spreadsheet? Are we talking about, some sort of like handwritten something, or do I have to give something to the person at the garage sale once I buy it from them? Because that would be crazy awkward. She's like, no. She's like, it's much like a mileage log, right? A mileage log is something that you just fill out every day, blah, blah, blah. You have to do it for like 3 months. You can extrapolate it for a year, and then you can kind of, the IRS will at least look for 3 months of your mileage log. If you have it jotted down perfectly, basically you'll pass. They'll move on to the next thing, right? So she was like, what I would do in your situation is, she's like, you got to get yourself a receipt book, but not to give the receipts to the garage sale people. She's like, get the receipt book and then put in the address, the date, exactly what you bought, what you paid for it. And that's all you got to do, right? Address, date, what you bought, what you paid for it. And then from there, you can take those items every Saturday evening and you can put them into its own Google document separated by FBA, things that are going to the antique booth for me, and things like that, right? So you have to have a system. IRS wants to see a system because the system's easy to audit. When they see just receipts and random stuff thrown all over the place, that's a red flag. That means for them, dive deeper, right? So just remember, a system. A system is what they're looking for. Anyway, that's what I do now. Like eMoney does it, I do it. I want to say someone else from the green room that we were hustling with not too long ago did it as well. That's just how I've been doing it for the past 2.5 years now. And passed last year just fine. This year I aim to pass just fine as well, but I have my book and I've been able to fill up, I think 2 books now, 2.5. I'm on my 3rd book, I think. So anyway, that's the answer to that one. Blake Gracia, is there a formula to how to buy bicycles? Yes. Well, yes and no. Like that's the reason why I made that guide, Bikes to Bucks. It's in the green room for free, so to go check it out there. Outside of that, I'll probably end up doing a video next week. It'll have a bike in there, and if you're thinking about buying the Bikes to Bucks guide, which is on Gumroad, I would say hold off. I'll put a little discount on there so you guys, can get it for a decent price. But I put the bike guide at a very steep price. It's $40. It was $40. It will always be $40 unless you get a coupon. And to me, the income stream that comes with bicycles is so worth that. And for me, the time it took out of my life to produce that book, rewards me for the time I took out of my hustle to create the thing. And it has a lot inside. Is it complete? No, it's not. Is it going to get you going to where you can make thousands? Yes, absolutely yes. So last Green Room Meetup, July, outside of Taco Deli, I had someone sit in front of me. His name is Jacob Lamore. He's from the Green Room. He was like, hey, can I have a second with you, Chris? And I was like, yes. So he sits in front of me. He's like, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for two things. One are your videos on bikes that are public. And for two, he's like, I want to thank you a lot for your Bikes to Bucks guide. He's like, you don't know how much money I've made from that thing. He's like, I live in Seattle. It's a big biking city, but he's like, I do exactly what you're talking about. He's like, dude, he's like, I'm flipping bikes, like no problem. Whenever I see them, I get them. He's like, it is a fantastic way to make a really good amount of money. And the funny thing is, the money is usually done. There's no returns, none of that stuff, because a large percentage of these bikes are sold on Craigslist, okay, our local markets. And now we have like 3 local markets: OfferUp, Craigslist, and even Nextdoor. Like Nextdoor is pretty good. I picked up something from Nextdoor last week, and I threw it on eBay today for $120. I picked it up for free on Nextdoor. So anyway, check out the bike guide if you want to, but don't buy it until next week. I'm going to do a video for you guys, get you guys a little discount, okay? So Arturo Wicked says, I'm doing the logbook, but you have to be disciplined. The hunt is exciting. Yes, and that's the only crappy part about doing the garage sale logbook is that, especially during neighborhood-wide garage sale season, I mean, can you imagine going from house to house to house, and you gotta like jot down everything? But that's how you build a habit. We go back to the very first part of this actual stream. Building a habit takes 58 consecutive good entries, right? And I've had way more than 58 in those books, and now it's just a thing I do. It's just a thing I do now. I don't sit there and go, this is going to take a lot of time. It's something I do because it's ingrained in my head, and I know why I'm doing it, right? I know the value of it is because when it comes to auditing or something like that, I'll be okay. All right, what's up? Philippe from Tijuana. We got a Tijuana person in the house. Yeah, I want to definitely tell you guys, go check out Nextdoor, nextdoor.com. Well, Nextdoor app, okay? Just put it on your phone. Have your radius be 5 to 15 neighborhoods around you and just see what pops up. But you got to be kind of fast, though, because there's a lot of good stuff that comes for free on Nextdoor. The funny thing is the free clock that I picked up that I put on eBay today, picked it up last week. Actually, I picked it up earlier this week. I put it on eBay, and I could probably get 60 for it, but I put it for 120 just for the hell of it, see what happens. And then I went to a house. I'll go to the house. I'm like, holy crap! I've picked up other things for free here before, like 4 months ago, and it was these like antique type lantern-looking things that I put in my antique booth, and it sold for like 37.1, and then the other one's like 14 and 14. Like that's great for free, and it's right down. Like the thing about Nextdoor is none of these things are going to be far away from your neighborhood. They're going to be your surrounding neighborhoods, and they're all just people with lost cats and all that kind of stuff. If you go in the app, you can filter all that junk out of there and just put the classifieds. That's what you're looking for, just the classifieds, okay? If you happen to have a lot of cats, though, and if some get loose, then you might want to put the cat thing on there. But, joke aside, put the classifieds only, and all you will get will be classifieds notifications. So when someone has something to give for free, they're going to put it on the classified section for free, all right? That's a great place to get free stuff. A lot of times people are like, well, the free section of Craigslist is just as good. That's a lot of active kind of searching, right? That means you have to go in there every day and like put free, look into the free section. This type means you're filtering all the stuff down to the classifieds, and all you're seeing are classifieds. Because sometimes, I would say 6 months ago, there was an N64 with 6 games, and they were all top-notch games that went up for $30 on Nextdoor, and I missed it, and my neighbor missed it too. He texted me like, holy crap, look at this deal. It just came up and I'm already late at it. So Nextdoor app shows also whoever's first at it will come down like a chat thread, almost like a, how do I say it? Like a forum. So that's what's really good about it. It's like if you're first, you are first and you know it. Like it's not like Craigslist, like, am I going to be first? Is this person going to call me back? Like you see it alone, like right there, like boom, you're the first one to respond. So that's what I like about it too. So kind of funny story, like person last week on Nextdoor, it's like I got this free clock, a Seiko clock, and it's working. And I immediately was like, oh, free Seiko, blah, blah, blah. I go to eBay real quick and I type it in. I was like, holy crap, it's worth X, you know? So I immediately get back to Nextdoor and then I put in like, I'll take it, right? And then right after me is a person that says, if person above can't come right now, I can come right now. I was so mad at that person, but I didn't say anything. But anyway, would you be pissed? Someone like right after me, like minutes behind me is basically like, hey, if this guy above me, you don't want to deal with him, like deal with me. Like that's super annoying. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. All right, any more questions? Let me see. Chicago Crown Hustler. Other questions here. Okay. Garage Flips says, I planned my route using Google Earth the night before. I prefer to do that instead of using the yard sale apps. Is there a way to auto route those data points? I'm sure there's a way to auto route the data points, but I got to say, honestly, here in Austin, these garage sales are relatively close to each other to where I color code my stuff, okay? So that's what I do with Yard Sale Treasure Map. I do color codes. So for an 8 a.m., I put blue. For a 7 a.m., I put green. Purple for 9 a.m. and what's that other color? Orange, is it? Orange for 10 a.m. And so I just kind of look at it on a bird's eye kind of view. I'm like, all right, here, you know, like I think when you start getting really complicated into the routing, you know, with that kind of stuff, it benefits you if they're kind of further away from each other. But in a close-knit scenario, if you see a bunch of blues like on my app when I label them, and the other thing that I do is I hide all the ones that I don't want to go to. So they're not distracting me or anything like that. I have a certain quadrant of town that I focus on, and I try to hit it really hard for 3.5 hours, like really, really hard. Minimal breaks. Of course, we take a doppio break for the camera, but yeah, I think it's a really good thing to do. Color code your stuff. Don't worry so much about 1, 2, 3s, 4s. Get to the part of town that has the majority of like a certain color, hit them all up, and keep your mind open and study a lot, right? Study a lot about the items that you need to be finding. Yeah, Ochero Wicked says, yo, sometimes the yard sale treasure map is not 100%. I will cross-check yard sale treasure map with Craigslist on a couple key terms. 1 is church, 2 is fundraiser, 3 is neighborhood, and 4, or neighborhood wide, the 4th is community. Those are the 4 things that I do a cross-check on, because those 4 things are big money makers. So fundraiser, church, community-wide, and neighborhood-wide. Those are the 4 things that I cross-check on Craigslist and I do myself, just to make sure that Yard Sale Treasure Map is pulling the correct information. And yes, I was talking about Nextdoor app, Tyler S. I was. It's a great app to have. It's a little, I think it's an N with a green logo on my iPhone. Mallow Jimmy says, big towns you need to route so you minimize the amount of driving time. So there you go. That was my speculation. Of course, that's the truth. Terry Berry says, I covered my hair, boo. My hair is getting crazy. I'm trying to grow it down to like around here somewhere. This side, so like, I'll just say it right now. This side right here, if I let it drape over, it's already down to here. So like, I'm trying to, right now when I swing it this way, it only comes down to like right here. So it's something I want to do. Nothing crazy about it. Hopefully it doesn't affect my cheddar abilities, you know, when it comes to hunting. 14 Amelina, probably one of my, best supporters lately on my channel. Thank you, super helpful. Never thought about color coding. Yeah, color coding is how I do it. Pretty easy to do. If you're on the Yard Sale Treasure Map, find the color code thing. I think it's the second thing from the bottom line to the right. If you're going from left to right, you have 5 different colors, one being hidden, okay? The other one being blue. You have 6 colors. One's hidden, one's red, one's blue, one's green, one's purple, and one's orange. Yeah, so those are what you can mess with, and those colors represent start times. So yeah, anyway, cool. Michael Brown in the house, buyer's house. How do I find what? Bikes sell for more. This is a good question. So my biking expertise comes from just me being absorbed with the whole biking culture. So I kind of know, like I keep my eyes out on random things, and I'm always on Craigslist in the biking section just looking for random deals. So that's how I know. I tried to go forward with good information in my bike guide, right? And I tried hard, but like I said, that bike guide will give you the cheats to about 80% of the money, right? The other 20%, I wouldn't even worry about it if I were you guys, right? You just got to be able to make that good income stream that'll get you thousands of bucks, right? So when I was in the peak of my bike reselling days, I mean, it was insane. But I single-handedly, along with probably 4 other people in this town, destroyed the bike market in Austin, Texas. Now, it's not to say that bikes aren't anywhere to be found. It's just that the used bike market in Austin, Texas is 100% completely exploited. It's pretty hard to find, a super quality bike at a Goodwill or a Salvation Army these days, whereas 5 years ago, I mean, I could go to any Goodwill, any Salvation Army, and I would come back with bikes. I mean, I'd go to any pawn shop, and it's just like bikes, 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 bikes. But the good thing about this town, the promising thing, is there's about 60,000 people a month or maybe a year that move to Austin, and these people need bikes. So when I find a good deal, I make sure to capitalize on it. But I'm pretty smart with my entry points now. 5 years ago, I could deal with, my perfect ROI was like 100%. That was like a crappy bike, crappy ROI. Like, oh my God, I made 100%. Now I would say to get 100% ROI, not far-fetched, but you got to pick right. So the bike guide definitely teaches you what to look for. So when you come up to a garage sale, most of what is going on, or a yard sale or a pawn shop, is decoding. Like, you got to know what you're looking at. It's not so much, while it does deal with brands and stuff, it's more of decoding what you're looking at. The style of bike. Is it popular is it popular in your hometown? Do you have colleges around you? Is there a beach shore bike for? And it won't be long tail, right? That's just what I know. So I try on Bikes to Bucks to like really guide you guys into thinking for yourselves, because I realize that you guys probably don't live in Austin, Texas or Seattle, and I live in a really good bike town. But that being said, doesn't mean because I don't live in San Diego, I can't sell a surfboard, right? Because I know a lot about surfboards, but there's nothing here to like base my research on. Like, I just have to stay with it, and I know how to surf. When I go to California, I've flipped surfboards before. It's just one of those things. But for someone in California, it's like their thing. So if there's a surfboard guide, maybe I'll buy it. But I made a bike guide about 1.5 years ago. I think it's a really good creation. But just like I said, I'll give a discount next week sometime. I'll have a bike behind me here set up, and I'll walk you guys through like what we're looking at. And if you decide you want to get the guide, I'll make sure there's a pretty good discount there for you guys. So, for the people that really want to make money on that income stream, I'm 100% confident you can make more than what you spend on that bike guide. Trust me. Okay. Rags, this is also in the bike guide. Do I sell bikes mostly locally? Yes, probably like 99% of bikes are sold locally now. There was a time where it was like maybe 5 or 10% were going to eBay, but no, not really. If I do ship them, I go with a shipping company through a bike shop. The bike book is called Bikes 2 Bucks. It's on Gumroad. Okay. Yeah, shipping on, I'm about to put a bike on eBay, actually. It's on the side of my house. It'll go up on eBay probably Monday, but it's the type of bike that needs to go on eBay, right? It's a bike I got for 40 bucks at a Goodwill auction. A comparable one on eBay right now, there's an asking price for about $450 with $50 for shipping. So that one makes sense to put it on eBay. I'll probably walk, when everything's all said and done, probably $250 on the deal, something like that, once all the shipping is all together and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. But probably like 200 to 250, high end 250, 200 low end. Yo, this is my first live show ever. What's up? Good to see you, man. Okay. Kenny Viper Vanderpool says, Bikes to Bucks is very informative. I've read it and made money within a week. So there you go. I just read that from Facebook just now. So I think it's a good guide. I really do. I spent a lot of time on it, and it's got a lot of pictures, a ton of pictures. It's not just text or anything. Tons of pictures in Bikes to Bucks, tons. Okay, so yeah, and another place that you can get good bike deals are Franken bikes. So you might want to type this into your computer once you're done with this. Is type in Franken bike, like Frankenstein, but Franken bike, and see if you have a Franken bike near your town or in your town. So if you do, I know this weekend we have one in Austin, Texas, comes around the last week of every month, last weekend of every month. So there will be one, there will be one tomorrow. And I'm going to go to it, right? Because Franken bike, I can make money for random things. I can sell it on eBay, I can sell it on FBA, or I can sell it on Craigslist later on down the road. But I can almost usually find a deal there. It might be small, but it could be pretty large too. I almost bought a really cool BMX at the last Franken bike, almost, man. But I decided not to because the year was off, man. I was looking at it like an 87 when the 86s were the ones that I should have been popping on. So I didn't buy it, but thank God, man. I almost bought it. It would have been a great deal. It would have been a super sick bike for 220 bucks. That's what it was. But vintage Mongoose BMX, but the ones on eBay, everyone's looking for the 86s. So didn't buy it. And I'm glad I didn't. Okay. There was a question in here which said, wow, there was a really good question here. Something about a rock hopper bike or a rock jump. Okay. So Ochero Wicked says, I came upon a specialized rock jumper for 20 bucks. All right. So first of all, Specialized makes two predominant mountain biking models. At least most people are going to know these two more than anything. One is called a rock hopper and the other one's called a stump jumper. So you have rock jumper in your comment, but it's likely a rock hopper or a stump jumper. Back in the day, vintage Specialized, they came out with usually, I would argue to say 4 bikes, right? One was called a hard rock. It was their entry level hybrid slash mountain bike. The second one was called a rock hopper, and the rock hopper was could be hardtail or full suspension, and then the third one is almost always full suspension, except for a couple models that were hardtails, called a stump jumper. And then they had this one funky one in the middle called like an FS or something like that, which one was really sucky, but there's one called an FS, and you might come across it every now and then. But the one that you would really want to like look hard for, especially if you want to put it to eBay, would be a stump jumper. A stump jumper that's like somewhere in the 90s, or even if you're lucky enough to find like an 88 or an 87, that is like good money on, eBay. So it's called stump jumper, like you're jumping over a stump, like a tree stump. I've owned 3 stump jumpers, and they're great bikes. But now I ride a Specialized Enduro, which is a really, really good bike. So I love it. Yeah. So I sold my stump jumper not too long ago. Rake and Profit, smash that like button. That's right. I don't ask very much for that, but definitely smash it. I think this is pretty much the end of the Q&A. If there's a couple more Qs, then I'll do it. Here's one from Maryland. I don't see any yard sales in Maryland from Mintoas and Ventures. So check your yard sale treasure map, first of all. Second, check GSailor. You're all going to kind of go with an API off of Craigslist. So really check your Craigslist, okay? If your Craigslist doesn't show anything, the second thing you have to start considering is maybe I should go south like 2 hours to a town that has a lot of good garage sales. Maybe even make a trip into Chicago. I don't know, but I generally kind of know what part of the country you're in, and I know it's cold. So think about it. I know Rake and Profit right now doesn't do garage sales, but when it comes around, like he's all about them. But these places that have distinguishable winters from the rest of the country definitely have a reduction in garage sales. And Austin has a reduction only in like December. Like that's pretty much it. But places like Florida or Arizona or California have garage sales like year round. Like it just seems like year round, boom, 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 like perfect season all the time. Austin has 2 distinct seasons that kind of mesh into each other. It starts right about March, which is now, about to be now, all the way up to about, I would say that season goes well into about May. And then there's another one that kind of comes up right around August and then goes to like October. Those are 2 really big windows where I really show up to garage sales with what seems to be somewhere between $600 and $1,000 in my pocket every single time. Because those are important times to have big money. But you might say big money, that's really not big money, but for garage sales, it's big money, right? All other times I usually roll with like $200 or $300, nothing crazy. I think just like everybody else out there. Yeah, so I just got done talking to Raken about the Green Room Meetup as well. Don't know if you guys are coming to the Green Room Meetup, but it's going to be amazing. You can still join the Green Room now. Tickets on the Meetup are going to go on sale in about a week or so. And it's going to be very, very interesting. So Raken and I were on a call earlier and we were figuring out the agenda because it's not just a day. We have, you know, a big day for the meetup, garage sale caravan. There's going to be bars involved. We're going to have seminars. We're going to have, you know, outdoors events. We're going to have a lot of things. So I think effectively it's kind of starting on like a Tuesday, and it leads all the way up to the massive event, which is 6 hours on a Saturday at a ranch with a DJ and gifts and prizes and food and like all this good stuff and dancing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Planning it gets to be a bit of a headache, but nevertheless, it's still fun because when the final event comes, it's really good to be around a lot of resellers. Any way you look at it, I love having the people come into Austin, Texas. Like, they're all pretty much blown away when they come to this town. So yeah, it's like vacation for everybody. Yeah, so if you're in the green room, I'm gonna give you one piece of advice is when the ticket prices come out, and I'm gonna tell you right now, act fast. Like, don't play around, because there's a reason why you're gonna want to. And I kind of hinted at it in a couple comments the other day on Facebook in the green room, but I didn't put it super public yet. So you're going to want to act very fast. Okay. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah. Green room is a lot of fun too. Yeah. Jennifer M, it's about time for you to join the green room. That's right. Any more questions? What's up, Rico? Good to see you. And by the way, here's the last question for you guys, right? You guys asked me questions the entire time in this kind of hot garage today. But my last question to you is, if you are you going to hit garage sales tomorrow? A simple yes on the feed. I want to see people on Facebook. I want to see some yeses. You got to hit garage sales tomorrow. If you are in a garage sale type town, go hit them up. I got to get to this mountain bike ride, but I want to see a couple yeses first. Who's hitting up garage sales tomorrow? Who's going to get the cheddar weather going down? Who's going to get their little cheddar quest with their vehicle going? Like, telling you, like, this is going to be time to make money. It's fun. And you just never know what you're going to find, right? You never know. Like, when you go to a big box store and you do FBA, kind of know what you're looking for already. Kind of like, all right, I'm going to these certain sections. I'm doing this. Okay, there's a clearance aisle. I'm going to check all that stuff. When you go to a garage sale, you never know what you're going to find. Never. And that's why it's so fun. That's what I'm talking about. And if you can't make garage sales, go to thrift stores. Same exact thing, guys. Same exact thing. Well, not same exact thing, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so, and the last thing I want to leave you guys with, if you're ever in Austin, Texas, whether you're a green room member or not, please hit me up. We'll see if we can get you in the hot seat, or at least get you a Doppio, or, you know, meet up with you, talk shop. Next week, I'm going to be meeting up with someone that's coming into town, not a green room member. Tomorrow in the hot seat on the ride along, green room member in there. But, you know, I don't want to make it seem like I only talk to green room members when you come to town. So if you're not in the green room, don't worry about it. Like, if you come to Austin, Texas, you have to hit me up, okay? I want to meet you guys. And I definitely want to do some sort of hustling, or at least buy you guys coffee or something, okay? Yes. And Thrift Shop Hustler is right. Garage sales have the best finds. And you'll see my live video probably Sunday or Monday, live on Facebook and live on YouTube as well. A live haul video, okay? I always do a simplified version for the people on YouTube. I get more in depth for the people in the Green Room University, but I also do a simple version here for Facebook and YouTube. It's going to be awesome. I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? Take it easy and let me finish up this Facebook one. See you later, guys, on Facebook. And thanks, guys, in the feed. One last request, 58 people watching right now. Don't forget to hit the like button. I got to get out of here. But it was really good to hang out with you guys. Why is this guy sound? Okay. I just heard myself talking to myself. But it is good to see you guys. I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video. I will, hopefully, if I get time, edit a ride along tonight and get it out tomorrow if I can, okay? Take it easy. Bye.